Today we start with a new session, that is bullous disease. So bullous disease, otherwise known as the pemphigus. In the bullous disease, one of the disease condition, that is pemphigus. So we can see what is the definition of pemphigus, what is the different types of pemphigus, what is the characteristic features, and the management of this pemphigus. We can see the definition of pemphigus. It's an autoimmune intraepithelial blistering disease affecting the skin and mucous membrane. Okay, it's an autoimmune. So autoimmune means the body act against the body itself, own body. Okay, act against our own body. So that is the meaning of autoimmune. And intraepithelial blistering disease. So it may be affect the skin and the mucosal layers. Okay. We can see the etiology of pemphigus. We already seen it's an autoimmune disease. So most of the autoimmune conditions pemphigus may occurs. Then genetic factors. Genetic factors play a role in its development. So usually it is not common here, but if the patient have the genetic history, there is a chance to get in the next generation. Then regarding the incidence, man and woman in the middle age and late adulthood, the disease is common. Okay, and both the sex are equal chance to get this disease. Then it may occurs with penicillin and captopril. These all are the drugs that may be used for different disease. Okay, so if we are using continuously these drugs, there may be chance for the pemphigus, and it may associated with the myasthenia gravis. Myasthenia gravis also as an autoimmune disorders, so it may occur with this problem. Okay, we can see the types of pemphigus. Usually it is divided into 4 forms, that is pemphigus vulgaris, pemphigus vegetans, pemphigus foliaceus, and pemphigus erythematus. Now we can see pemphigus vulgaris. The main character of pemphigus vulgaris is lesion in the mouth, scalp, face, head and neck. And there will be blisters and crust on the skin and also in the mouth. You can see in this picture there is blisters and raw sores in the mouth. So this is the exact feature of a pemphigus vulgaris patient. One of the important feature of pemphigus vulgaris is Nikolsky sign. So Nikolsky sign means when we are applying lateral pressure to the border of intact bullae, there will be peripheral extension of the bullae. Okay, when we are saying a positive Nikolsky sign, there will be upper dermis separate from the basal layer. So you can see in this picture when the patient is applying pressure in the area, the basal layer is separated. Okay, so that portion is eroded. Okay, so that is the main feature of a Nikolsky sign, and it is common in pemphigus vulgaris. In this picture you can see the Nikolsky sign, how they are applying pressure. Okay, you can see the eroded area in the nearest place, and when the person is applying pressure, that the applied area also there will be slough nature or the erosion will be occur. Okay, so that's why it is the extend the area of sloughing by applying gentle lateral pressure on the skin surface. Okay, so that's why uninvolved site also will be eroded, or uninvolved site also will be uh, appear as an erosion. Okay, so that is the Nikolsky sign. So this that area the skin will be peel off. So in the previous picture you can see the peeled skin. Okay, the primary or the superficial layer is peeled, right? So in this picture the applying pressure. Okay, so this is the first picture and that is the later picture. Okay, the erosion will be occur. I hope you understood. Next one, bulla sign. Bulla sign, spreading bulla sign. So spreading bulla sign means when we are applying a pressure near the bulla will starts to spread. Okay, you can see in this picture. Okay, when we are applying the pressure near the bulla starts spread. So that is the bulla spread sign. So these two signs are important in Pemphigus vulgaris. This is the picture of Pemphigus vulgaris. Okay, here there will be numerous scattered, sometimes bilateral involvement will be there. Okay, bulla you can see and eroded area can be understood easily. Okay, so this is the main feature of bullae, and when the sign Nikolsky sign and bulla spread sign that is common in Pemphigus vulgaris. So bulla spread sign means when we are pressing or when we are applying pressure on the bullae will be try to extend its nature. So that is known as the bulla spread sign. Next one, Nikolsky sign. So when we are applying pressure over the bony prominence, near bony prominence, sliding of the superficial layers of the skin over the deeper layers. Okay, so that will be occurs most commonly in Pemphigus vulgaris. Next one, Pemphigus foliaceus. Pemphigus foliaceus means it's characterized by small flaccid bullae with crusted and scaly. Here there will be small bulla. Okay, so here it will be crusting and scaling is common. The initial lesions are scaly papules or superficial flaccid bullae on normal or erythematous skin. So in this picture you can see the small blisters, that is rupture and crust is formed, and scaling also you can see in this picture. So that is the feature of Pemphigus foliaceus. There will be crust formation, there will be scales and small bullae you can see. Next one, Pemphigus erythematosus. So Pemphigus erythematosus, a localized variant of Pemphigus foliaceus, is typified by the presence of erythematous scaly plaques, thin-walled bullae and denuded areas predominantly on the butterfly area of the face, upper part of the back, chest and intertriginous area. So Pemphigus erythematus means there will be erythematous scaly plaques. So we can see in this picture there is reddish appearance of scaly plaques. So it is in the butterfly areas. So you can see our the portions nearest our nose is known as like a butterfly. Okay, two wings and the nose except the nose indicate the body of butterfly. So that's why it is known as the butterfly area of the face. So that area there is lesions. So in case of pemphigus erythematis, most commonly it occurs in butterfly area of the face and sometimes upper part of the back and chest. And in lentiginous areas means folds. In the skin folds it may be occurs. And characteristic feature is erythematous scaly plaques. Pemphigus vegetans, here there will be hyperplastic erosive plaques. Okay, there will be development of hyperplastic erosive plaques, and especially it will seen in intertriginous areas such as axillary folds or the groin. Okay, so most of the time this pemphigus vulgaris may leads to pemphigus vegetans. So pemphigus vulgaris, the lesions may change to hyperplastic erosive plaques. When it is changed as a hyperplastic erosive plaques, then it is known as the pemphigus vegetans. Okay, pemphigus vulgaris in chronic nature, that leads to pemphigus vegetans. Okay. And in some conditions, these erosions, these hyperplastic erosive plaques have the tendency to develop excessive granulation tissue and crusting. Okay, there will be chance for excessive granulation tissue and crust formations. So, for example, in this patient, you can see near the ear there is a vegetative lesions. So you can see the granulation tissues and the crust formations. Okay, so that is the feature of a pemphigus vegetans. Regarding the diagnosis of pemphigus, usually the age we will consider middle age to adulthood. Next one, the multiple ulcers, especially the bullous lesions, mucocutaneous lesions in the oral cavity and skin that we will assess, and the characteristics of Nikolsky sign and bulla spread sign. Then oral ulcers preceded cutaneous lesions. All this will be considered in diagnosing the patient. Okay, most of the time clinical features itself will help to understand the diagnosis, and sometimes we can do the smear test or immunofluorescence test. Okay, it depends. As a management, you can see medical management, you can give the steroids. Okay, steroid is the first line of drug, that is prednisolone, betamethasone, dexamethasone. All these drugs can be given for the for a drug of choice. Next one, anti-inflammatory drugs such as dapsone, tetracyclines, retinoids. All these drugs can be given. Then immunosuppressors such as cyclophosphamide, azathioprine, methotrexate, cyclosporin. All these drugs can be given. Then immunomodulators. For example, plasmapheresis is not using nowadays. Intravenous gamma globulin can be given as an improving the immunity of the patient. So these are the drug treatment for pemphigus. As a general measures, you can give the cleansing bath, wet dressing, antimicrobial drugs, then fluid and electrolyte corrections. Then for oral care, they can use the oral, the oral solutions in order to, or analgesics mouthwash in order to relieve the pain in the mouth. Okay, or otherwise you can use the silver sulfadizing cream in order to relieve the erosions or pain in the erosions, and the supportive therapy such as antibiotics or eye care, antacids, calcium supplement, then monitoring fluid and electrolyte. All this will helpful for the patient. In case of oral ulcers, the patient will have the difficulty to have food, so IV fluids can be given. And then monitoring of the patient is very important. The patient needs to be hospitalized for a week. Okay, for few days, because it's a we can't say non-healing ulcer, but slowly healing ulcer. So the ulcer will be painful to the patient. So it takes time to heal.